Hi guys, I'm here with Max Brooks, author of Harlem Hellfighters, as well as World War Z and Zombie Survival Guide. So great to see you here. Thank you so much for coming. So I wanted to talk to you more about the book. We talked about it a little bit on the show, but it's great, and if you haven't picked it up, you should. It's super informative, very well researched, and I enjoyed it. You can tell I have a lot of bookmarks. And I just wanted to ask you, so this is a story you've been very interested in for a long time. And I was wondering, how on earth did you narrow it down to figure out what you wanted to include?
You know, I think that is the challenge when anyone tries to tell a fictionalized story of something that really happened is how much do you include in the time that you've got? Because you could include everything, and it would be roots. You know, it would be 1,100 pages.
Yeah, it's an encyclopedia.
And I thought I would keep it short on purpose because I want young people to read it. With the attention span young people have, I figured, don't intimidate them. Because I remember when I was a kid and had these giant books shoved at me, and my attitude was...
There was one panel that was just stunning and upsetting to me. It was Jack Johnson.
Oh, a guy being blown up by a shell. That actually is what really happens when a high explosive shell hits the human body. It's called hydrostatic shock. What happens is when a shell explodes, it usually kills by shrapnel, pieces of metal flying everywhere. But sometimes if it's close enough to you, if an explosion is close enough, the energy released by the explosion has to be absorbed by something. It's physics. And it's absorbed by you, and it's absorbed by the water in your body.
That's
so
horrifying.
It will literally blow the flesh right off your bones.
I feel like now we're at this stage where everything is everyone's accepted that drones are a thing, and everything war feels more impersonal now. So reading something like this
which is fine if you're the ones firing the drone.
Sure,
If
exactly.
you're the ones
but if
on
you're
the
being
ground,
hit by a drone, maybe
it's pretty personal.
Right, exactly. Oh, here it is.
Yeah,
this is a frame.
That's a high explosive shell when it lands next to a human body. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, Europeans would love you to believe that they are the pinnacle of civilization, the Renaissance, the Enlightenment. Yeah, they're also this. Thanks, Europe.
Right. So full panel. I turned the page, and I had to put it down for a second.
I got in trouble with this.
Did you really?
Yeah, because Random House said, if you do the violence this graphically, it may not be an educational tool. Like, schools may not want this. Mm-hmm. And I said, look, this is not gratuitous. I'm not putting violence in there because it's cool. It's not a Tarantino movie. I'm putting the violence in here because this is exactly based on real research.
Right.
This is what happened in the Great War. And we need to acknowledge that.
And it's not like every other panel was that. You definitely saved it for the moment when it would impact the most.
It has to be used in the important moment. And it's also, World War I was a really brutal war.
Exactly.
And that kind of carnage needs to be shown.
So one of the reasons why you wrote this book, and one of the reasons why I'm so glad this book is around, is because the story hasn't been told, even though this is one of the Hellfighters are one of the most incredible, accomplished regiments in World War I, and yet no one knows who they are.
And I think that's important to note. There were a lot. African Americans have fought in every war, but not every unit had a stellar combat record. Some of them should be commended just because they fought racism. That alone is a battle. That alone they should get medals for how horribly African Americans were treated. But not only that, this unit, just no matter what color, was an amazing unit.
Fought longer, more days than any other troop.
More time in combat than any other American unit. The whole unit won the Croix de Guerre. They brought jazz to
with
James Reese Europe and his band. They brought jazz to France. Yeah,
not a small
which is ironic considering the French tell us we have no culture.
Sure.
So just had this unit been white, we don't know about it.
Right.
There would have been movies made from the 20s onward about the Harlem Hellfighters.
So this must have been incredibly frustrating for you to try and get this made.
Well, the irony is I wrote it as a movie script in the 90s, before you were born. Nobody wanted it.
Before I was born.
And LeVar Burton, he told me not to give up.
Really?
LeVar Burton said there's a lot of Harlem Hellfighters scripts going around. Yours come close to the truth. And when you're a dyslexic kid and you don't do well in school, and
the guy from Reading Rainbow tells you that your script is good, you're gonna listen.
When Commander Geordie LaForge says you've done your homework, you stick with it. So I thought, you know what? A comic book is a great way to tell a visual story without worrying about Hollywood and the economics of getting a movie like this.
And I mean, it's basically a storyboard. So
yeah, that's
right. Exactly.
And the irony is, 2 weeks before it came out, we got a movie deal.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's
Will
amazing.
Smith's company optioned it. They want me to write the first draft of the script.
Congratulations, that's incredible.
Thank you.
All right, one last question. So that actually brings me to, so you've got an incredible response from, you have a blurb from Spike Lee, Cornel West is thanked in the back, LeVar Burton.
Spike, I thought, was going to crucify me.
Really?
Well, because, Spike's not shy about his opinion.
Right, no, I don't think anyone would ever say
And I said to my beautiful wife, I said to her, honey, you know who's going to come after me about this. You know who's going to say, who does this white man think he is writing our story?
Right. I mean, that's a concern.
Right. That's a huge concern. So
you don't want to be appropriating someone else's story,
Exactly.
but you want to tell it, but you want to be...
And nobody was
right.
telling it. But I thought I thought he was going to easily come after me. And
Right.
he called me and he said, I'd love to meet with you. I was in New York. I met with him. And he goes, listen, I don't care who makes this. I don't care how it gets made. You wrote a great story. It needs to be told. I was
That's,
like,
yeah.
oh my God. And by the way, Get on the Bus is one of my favorite movies.
Just as an aside. Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much. Everyone, get Harlem Hellfighters if you can. Mark it up if you want. Thank you so much. It was so
Thank
good to
you.
have you here.